This is Dave with DRH Acrylic Creations. Today's pillow paint is Glitten Essentials in Eggshell. Our pour medium is Vaspera Ultra and Varathane Polyurethane Triple Thick, a 3-to-1 ratio. Our colors for today are listed here. It's a variation on Magentas, and then Twilight, Ballet Slipper, Pearlescent White, Simplicity, Celebrity Sorbet, and Velvet. Here are our cell activators. They are titanium white, black umber, and bone black. They're both mixed. They're all three mixed with 3 parts Australian floetrol to 1 part paint. Okay, what we're painting on today is a 10 by 14 inch tile, and the pillow paint is going down now. That's Glitten Essentials in Eggshell. Okay, I'm going to spread this out just a little bit. This is Ellen's red shimmer, and I put a touch of bone black in it just to darken it up a bit. This paint comes from Pourage Posse, and Christina does a wonderful job putting these paints together. You can find her on Etsy, and I'll leave the link to that in the description. Our next paint is started out as a magenta, Quinacridone magenta, and I added some titanium white to it to bring it to the shade I wanted. And again, this is another shade of the magenta, not quite as much of the white in it, but has just a little bit of it. And I'm going to come behind and circle this with the normal magenta. This is straight magenta without having been altered at all. You'll see why I'm doing this here in just a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe across this, get my base coat, what I want to see for the background of of this pour. What I'm doing here is I'm just centering it, spreading out just a little bit, but mostly trying to get that in the center so I have a good starting place. Then loading up the back of my tool with titanium white and 3 parts Australia floetrol as my cell activator. Giving it a nice even swipe across, trying not to get any kind of wiggles across, because I really want these to just be a nice background to follow. Cells started popping almost immediately. I'm going to speed this just up a little bit so that we can get past this section of it fairly quickly, because it's a lot of stretching. It takes time. You have to take your time with it. You want to make sure that you not only get enough paint moving, but also to see what your composition is doing. In this case, I'm building a background. It's continuing to stretch. I might pick up my scraping tool and get rid of some of the paint that was on the board. giving it one last spin, at least the base coat, just one last spin. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Okay, I'm going to set up my swipe tile. Basically, I'm going to add to the tile over that you see on your upper left, and starting out with the Twilight. And I'm going to put a nice good coat down, but not thick. And I'm going to build on top of this. I'll put it over on that side in just a second. This is Lemon Sorbet. It's TLB color, and it's as is the Twilight. And they both work beautifully together as far as they play nice. This is Ballet Slipper, which is another TLB color. It's actually a pigment. Got a beautiful beige gold to it, with a gold interference as its background. Next is Pearlescent White. This is a Sonja paint. It's probably the only paint that I have that is coming out of a tube here. It's a very, very, very nice white. Not bright. And finally, this is Simplicity. And Simplicity is another TLP color. And it is probably one of my favorite whites. Okay, this is a bit of a mistake. I hadn't intended to swipe the canvas with that loading of my tool, but I decided just to leave it and do what I intended in the first place, which is a card swipe. So to pick up the paint and then you swipe across the canvas. That had been the plan, but you got an extra step in there. So I'm going to load up the back of the tool again. Okay, my tool's ready to go. I'm going to swipe across the back of this tile. This is what I'll use to spread across the painting itself. Okay, now I'm going to load up my card, and the intention is to take the paint from the card and create ribbons with it. I'm fairly new to this technique, and so this first bit of paint that I got probably wasn't enough for what I wanted to do. This is a learning process, and there really isn't a right or wrong way to do anything. Okay, I loaded it up again, and I'm going to give it a better try with a little bit more paint to work with. And although I get the ribbons going, the speed at which is what I need to learn so I can tell how fast I need to go to get the effects I'm looking for. You can really see the velvet down there. Now that's the last color I put on the swipe over there. The velvet it's against a dark color, it's very blue. Against a lighter color, it's a color shift, so it has to be in the right light, but in the dark color, it stays blue. And I'm just trying to get as much coverage as I can here before I start my stretching and finding the final composition. See how much movement I have. I can see it moving. It's going to take some stretching here. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. Because this is sped up, it looks like it's going rather fast, but it really isn't. My rule of thumb is if you're going to spin fast, it goes short duration. If it's going to be a slow spin, then you can let it go longer. That doesn't look like a slow spin, but it was. Okay, I'm starting to see what my composition is doing. Thinking about what I want to, where I want to move things. Okay, take it down for a closer look. If you found this video today useful, or would you please give it a thumbs up? And if you haven't done so, smash the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications of future videos. It's my goal to put out at least 2 per week, and I hope you've enjoyed this today. Thanks for coming along. Bye now.